Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Let me just jump over, do a quick sound check, make sure everything is running smoothly. Let's see. Da-da. The weather is finally beautiful. Things are getting more developed. Come on, guys. Show me the sound check. I think there are a lot of changes going on to YouTube right now. Here we go. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Hello, sound check. Yeah, perfect now. You guys can hear me, so everything's going fine. So just coming on to do a quick announcement because we're reaching episode 730. And the significance of that is because for me, this process began almost 2 years ago now. 700 episodes is 2 years ago. That means that every single day we have been showing up to reparent. We've been exploring the material, we've been learning, studying, internalizing, memorizing, beginning to embody. And I'm so thankful for all of the people that have been here for so long, who have shown up consistently, who have sent me the messages of thanks, of encouragement, who have allowed me to be seen. I'm so grateful for that. And I've definitely grown in the past few years. I've learned so much. And I know that there's still so much more to learn. And when you're coming in the process of reparenting yourself, remothering and refathering simultaneously, right? Those two are opposing because in nature and energy, because the female energy, which you need to connect to, which is also within yourself, is that nurturing, kind, caring, soft side. And the masculine principle is more hard, certain, determined, dominating, powerful, right? And so if you have to remother and refather yourself, it's about integrating both of those masculine and feminine energies in yourself simultaneously. This is going back to what the yin and yang means, what that symbol stands for, that integration of masculine and feminine principles and energies. And so it's a challenge because your mind is thinking one way, to develop the strength, rigidity, discipline, control, consistency that is masculine principle, right? Of the effort, the dedication, the focus, the drive, all of this. But at the same time, you have to be able to nurture yourself and to have that feminine aspect. And, depending on if you are a man or woman, you have to balance that differently, depending on also where you are, the culture in which you live and inhabitate. And so it's a challenge. So anyone who has made it this far, congratulations, first of all. It's a process of refinement. And the balance of that masculine and feminine energy, the retrieval of that is individual to each person. Again, if you're a man or woman, depending on your history, what you have experienced, what you have not experienced that you needed, all of these things matter. Right. And so that is one of the biggest challenges, to be honest with you. That is the biggest challenge that I found in this process, how to balance the masculine and feminine energies in your reparenting process. If you need to remother and refather, right? Because you're calling both of those energies back to you, that masculine and feminine principle. So you can learn how to be a person, so you can integrate, so you can allow yourself to fully exist. And what I've come to realize last night is that we are approaching episode 730, which is 2 full years of daily episodes. I've been in the past 2 months going through quite a big emotional release. I would say in the past 4 months, many different somatic things going on: lung infection, stomach infection, skin issues, insomnia sometimes that's getting better, thank God. A lot of these things are improving, but it's been a huge physical release. And in combination with that, I have other projects that are going on the side that I really want to start putting more time towards, because I want to learn how to start living more fully and enjoying my life. I enjoy this project. It's fun. It's great. It's beneficial for me and for others. It crosses over to that ikigai category. And, that's great. But healing is not my identity. Reparenting is not my identity. It's a process that I had to go through in order to re-engage with my true identity. But it was never my intention to make this program my life. It was never my intention to make this my entire reality. The only thing that I'm doing, the only thing that, the only way to express myself. Yes, this is important, but there was so much more that I came to this world with. with the intention to offer value to other people. And reparenting is great. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Reparenting is great. It's honest. I've been honest and open and truthful about what I need, what others need, how to better understand this process, because so many people don't have the support, right? So my whole idea was to create something that I lacked, that I needed. Research is me search, right? And so the idea is that we need to learn how to stop externalizing our peace and sovereignty. That's another reason why I wanted to slow down this program. So the idea is that I will go from the daily posting, since we have now 2 straight years of daily episodes. I'm going to stop doing that, and I'm going to focus on once per week on a Monday to discuss the weekly theme. Friday, I will still have the recap for the Friday Fireside Chat, and then I will still release the fairy tale episodes on Saturday, some of those cartoons. And so in this process of coming back to ourselves, we need to decrease the stress, focus on coming back to our body. I'll be doing more somatic work on my own, myself, more internalization and embodiment of all of the things that we learned together. And I hope that you will do the same too, because we've spent 2 years studying. That's like a 2-year master's program, basically, that you've been getting support with, to have exposure to different resources. I've specifically and intentionally decentered myself in this project because I'm not a guru, right? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a spiritual coach, a pastor. I'm not a social worker. I'm someone in the trenches with you. And I did not have a bread trail, when I first started this process and realized what was going on. So my entire reason for creating this project is to create a bread trail so that other people realize, oh, wow, this is what happened. This is what I need. This is how I can continue to progress, because it's something that I've walked through on my own. And none of the therapists that I've ever spoken to in my life have experienced what I have to this degree that requires them to reparent on such a profound and basic level, I would say. And so I wanted to create what I never had, what I needed but didn't have. That has been my motivation. And I achieved it. And so I'm celebrating myself. I'm so proud of myself that I showed up every single day for 2 years. Every single day. Every single day. Do you guys know how much work this has been? It's a lot to think about the readings, to think about the recording. Someday my computer not working during the editing. All of this mostly on my own. I did have some help. I'm not going to act like I didn't. But a lot of this has been on my own, especially with the daily recordings. The social media, of course, I had help, but the daily recording, doing that actual core work has been on me. And I feel myself getting a bit caught or addicted to this healing thing. So I feel like I'm, spending too much time, attention, and focus, and becoming a little bit stuck. Maybe that explains some of the emotional waves that I've been experiencing. And so I'm really reaching a different level of the healing process, where it's time to start healing. It's time to start living more fully and embodied. Now that we've collected a lot of the knowledge that we need to understand how to do that, it's time to start implementing that. And so I'm not abandoning you from the daily episodes. I'm actually encouraging you. If you've been following every day for 2 years, it's time to also let you know that it's time to switch into living. This is the problem that I noticed people in the ACA program, the Adult Children of Alcoholic and Dysfunctional Families, the 12-step program. If you're familiar with Andrea's podcast, The Adult Child, that's how I realized all of this process and situation. And I go to this program and I see people stuck in this program for 10 years, doing the same thing on repeat. 10 years. It's like going to AA, which is another 12-step program, but for alcoholism. And these people are saying, I'm sober 40 years and I still want to, undo myself. And I'm just like, if you are in this program for 40 years, okay, you're not drinking, and then you still don't want to be alive and you're still suicidal every day, then what is the point of even being here? You should just keep drinking and then end that shit early. I know this is a little bit of dark humor, but if stopping that habit does not fix the problem, which of course it won't, because that pattern, that habit started drinking, for example, to replace the core wounds. Luckily for me, I've never struggled with these issues, so I went straight to the core issues. And so even within that group, the ACOA program, the core issues, adult children of alcoholic dysfunctional families, these people are so stuck trying to capture. This is my perspective on being in that program for over 4 years. I hosted, a meeting every Friday for over a year. I created a podcast for my home group. This, I was this. Sorry, I'm speaking Dutch now, and so I was really involved in this program. I was really present. I was showing up for people. I was not connecting as fully as I need to or as I wanted to, but I was there. I was present. I was contributing, giving back, and I still see the same people stuck every day. Stuck, 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 stuck. One of the reasons why I'm switching over to my other projects is because I've hit kind of like a conceptual limit with this program. There are a lot of people who are going through this process of reparenting who are not ready to understand how the world really works. There are a lot of people in these programs who are in the process of reparenting who have been through difficult pasts who don't want to accept the reality of how the world works, and they want to stay stuck in this little of a bubble community, thinking that they can recreate these past things that they never received. Of course you can achieve some of that, but if most of the world is not healing, then these strategies that you're learning are not actually going to be the most effective and beneficial. Of course, you can give your inner child the feeling of being supported, corrected, connected to, seen, nurtured, all of these things, which are important. But I dare say that this program keeps you stuck in that naivety. And for me, protection has been the most important. And so, what is the value of something that keeps you stuck in naivety and not understanding how the world actually works? That's something that most people who are in the process of reparenting don't want to accept. They don't want to understand how the world works, the way things go, the way they do, how to be a good person, how to be respected, how to connect. So much of the understandings that people have who are going through the process of reparenting are complete opposite. If you were raised in this sheltered, religious abusive, emotional abusive situation, you might think, oh, the point of life and social connection is to love and care and to support each other. But in this world that we've been living in, hopefully the new earth is coming. I don't know. But that kind of naive, childish thinking keeps you from understanding how the world actually works. People who exploit or, mistreat others are rewarded for that because they display power to others. That's just one simple example. But just because there is darkness in the world doesn't mean that we should adapt to that, but to be naive to that, it will only cause you harm. It will only cause you harm. And that's something that I saw in the ACO program and other support groups that people don't want to admit. People don't want to admit this. Assertiveness assertiveness and aggression are the foundations of self-esteem. Assertiveness and aggression are the foundations of self-esteem, according to Franz Fanon, a psychiatrist. And if you are stuck in this childish, naive perspective, you will never be fully present. You will never be fully embodied. You will never be fully yourself. And so how does all of this come back to reparenting? Again, because I don't want to get me, addicted to this process of going around and around and around in circles, thinking, overthinking. It's enough. It's enough. We did a good job. We needed to do that to learn, to grow. And now it's time to incorporate those lessons so we can live more fully, so we can move into life and begin to engage with life. That's how you actually heal. If your foundation has been fucked up, yes, what we did in these past 2 years, every single day, was gain an understanding of the the blueprint of how to create a solid foundation. And now we're moving into that, by practicing, by living, by embodying, by creating new experiences, by influencing experiences and reality to create what we need. And so I'm going to be switching over to that. And I will be focusing more on my fireside chats on this topic of embodiment, moving this into practice, right? Not just from the learning, intellectualizing side. That's kind of like where I want to take this again, because it's time for me to move on. And it's time I don't want to say it's time for you because I don't know you, I don't know your life, your personal situation, but it's time for me to demonstrate to you guys the next level of reparenting. And so thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate all of your help, support. It's meant the world to me while I've been going through some of the most difficult and challenging experiences of my life. And I appreciate you so much. And I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry. I'll still be around. And with that, I will see you guys soon. Take care. And don't worry, I'll have another update once we actually reach to episode 730. So there, I think today is what? Today is 720. So we have 10 more episodes until we get to 730, which is the full 2 years. So I will come back and be discussing the next phases of this process with you. But I just want to give you guys a heads up because we're 10 days away. 10 days away from 2 straight years. I never thought I would be here. And here we are. So thanks again for all your support. Take care, and I'll see you guys soon.